Right before this, I asked you what the intro would look like, and I guess it looked about like that.
It looks like this. It looks like this. It looks
you
like
are
us
up in one corner. You
not
know what?
knowing what we're doing.
We're up in one corner. Let me see if I can. Hurrah! I think that'll fix it.
Let's see. Oh.
It'll be on a delay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Allison says that they see cuties. It's true. Hey! It worked. Okay, great.
All right.
We did it.
We're not going to look at the delayed one now. So.
Yes, yeah. That'll only distract us from our ultimate goal,
which is
Jadzia eat hot things.
Right. So I have a plate of hot wings. Well, they are just wings now. They are not hot, and I have
they are lukewarm.
A broad collection of sauces, which we will get into.
I have vegetarian chicken nuggies.
And I guess I just welcome everyone who's watching. I did not expect anyone to watch, so the fact that there's anyone at all is very exciting for me personally. Thank you for doing it.
And thank you all for your patience as we conquered YouTube.
See, I feel like I should say I tried to do this as like a test a few days ago, and everything worked fine. And I don't know why now it decided...
We have to download new software?
It was a whole thing. But we're here. We're
And
ready. I have wings. I have hot sauces. I have CJ, TikTok superstar, who's going to be my own personal Sean Evans.
It's me, Sean Evans. That's what he sounds like. I did a lot of research.
You did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also an actor. He's always available for hire. All right, awesome. We want to get into the
let's
questions?
just get into it.
Okay, I think you're supposed to eat a sauce before the first question.
Oh, right. Okay, so we're going to start. Now, I don't know the Scoville rating for all of these sauces.
Right.
I do know that our starting one is like 0. This is a umami sauce by Seed Ranch. And I know that our finishing sauce is over 2 million Scoville heat units. So... the ones in between I am less sure about, but we'll have a nice journey as we go over to it.
We'll get there.
So this is the first one. This is Umami by Seed Ranch.
Exciting.
And I'll just put a little dab there.
Jadzia is our hot sauce connoisseur. Oh my god, already spilled, so I'm off to a great start.
That's great.
I am not...
It's a little runny.
It is a little runny.
Well, you have nuggies, so if you want to just like make a little pool and then dip, that's
true. A little dipping experience for when I get to hot sauce number 4. See, I did not promise anybody I would reach the end, so I will not.
Nor should you.
No.
Like, it's crazy anyone would do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I'm going to be buying a lot of hot sauces by the end of this.
I'll give you links.
So, us talking about whether or not I should do this actually lends itself really well to the first question. All these are Jadzia fan submitted, by the way.
Yeah.
The first question is simply, why are you doing this?
That's an excellent question and a good place to start. I'm doing this because I wanted to do something, 2 reasons. One, I wanted to do something ridiculous for when I got 2,000 Twitter followers.
Which you did.
Which we are now at. Exciting.
Woo.
2,000 plus at this point because we had to wait until we were appropriately
vaccinated. Which, by the way, we both are fully vaccinated.
We both fully vaxxed.
Only reason
properly baked. Yeah.
Yes.
We toyed with the idea of doing this over Zoom, but thankfully we just had to wait and it happened. So the first one was like, because everybody watches Hot Ones, I'm assuming. But when you watch Hot Ones, you're like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Like, come on, I could do that.
You just want to know how you would place.
And because they're never going to have me.
Right. We'll see. You're writing for DC Comics right now.
I am writing for DC, but they don't have writers on there.
Anything can
happen. Who knows what, but like, odds are slim.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, maybe you'll be on there someday, and that'll be a nice, pleasant surprise to do this again. But in the meantime, why wait? We can have our own hot ones.
It will give us something to talk about when I am on Hot Ones officially. It'll be like, oh, I did this in my home. Yeah. And, like, I'm always watching food television shows and being like, let's do that at home. Like, I did an Iron Chef battle in this very house, which you are now sitting in. long before we met, which is wild to think about because we've been friends for a while.
A good while, yeah.
I did not win in that one.
Oh.
It's okay. Because
So it was rigged.
No. I was doing this against my only friend who would do it with me, and who had professional chef experience.
All right. Well, sure.
Everyone else said no, and it was like, you know what? We'll just do it then. I knew it was a mountain to climb.
Oh, sure.
And I did an amazing job, can I say? Like 7 dishes in the hour. Secret ingredient was mushrooms.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You're right on it then.
We both gave our friend like $50 and like go buy a bunch of something. So we didn't know what it was, and then there was a reveal. It was great. It was a great experience. Everyone should Iron Chef themselves. I don't know if everyone should do this. We'll find out at the end.
We'll see.
If everyone should.
We'll
but
see.
We're starting out nicely. So yeah, this is just for a lark. This is just to see if I do it, and as a nice thank you to 2,000 Twitter followers, which is ridiculous.
2,000 people listening to you on Twitter.com.
Which is weird, because like I don't do anything worth listening to on there.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this, but shut the fuck up.
We said it was not for kids, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Kids don't do any of this.
Also, if you didn't want cursing to happen, I'm sorry, but you should have found another host. I have a sailor's mouth.
Well, that's part of why you're here.
True.
All right, so that's first question down.
All right, Seed Ranch, Dunzo.
Yeah, so the next sauce is, we're actually getting spice in here. So this is from Hot and Saucy. This is the garlic and pepperoncini.
Ooh, ah.
I know, right? Which is pretty nice. So I'm gonna put a little dab there.
Allison in the comments said, okay, I want hot ones with both of you next, please. I cannot stress enough how much of a baby I am about spice, truly. Like, you're gonna have to take care of a dissociating CJ Higgins.
That's good.
Put that all up on my chicken nugget.
This has the mildest of spice. It's very tasty, though.
Yeah, that's really good.
A little sweet.
Yeah.
A little sweet. So, next question.
Next question. Which project of yours would your child self be most impressed by?
Oh. Easily. Galaxy coming out next summer. From DC Comics, which you mentioned.
Yep.
It's very exciting to me on like multiple age levels.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like, this is, as a child, this will come as a shock to a lot of you, I'm sure. But I played the superhero dolls. I know.
What?
We called them action figures, but they're dolls.
They're dolls.
They're dolls.
That's like where somebody's like, oh, I'm taking up journaling. It's like, oh, okay, you're keeping a diary.
Right, yeah, exactly. But I had the whole Hall of Justice playset. I had Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. I had the whole shebang. In love with those characters. And so, now to be able to say, like, I'm writing a new character who can hang out with one of these at any point is amazing.
Like you're adding to the canon.
Right, yeah. And like, there's a scene where one of the supporting characters talks about being saved by Superman, which is wild to just say that and not have it be like a Superman with the S filed off, and it's like, it's Superman. You know?
No, literally.
It's literally Superman.
Like you're adding a fact about Superman.
It's, yeah, so that's really amazing. And like, and then on top of that, like as a teenager, there were not a lot of great queer and trans characters in comics. I don't have to tell you this.
I know, I'm living it.
Right, you know. There still aren't, really. I'm doing my best by adding this one. And so, like, this is definitely, like, the book that I needed and wanted as a teenager and didn't have. And, like, so that's really amazing to be, like, to do that and to do something that I know teen me would just love and fall in love with and carry with them. And then now, as an adult, also, to be like, This book is so good. Like, it's the best thing I've ever written so far, and it's really amazing. It's got incredible art by Jess Taylor, who they are amazing. It's really wonderful to be able to say this is a queer trans book done by a queer trans creative team.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. And it's coming out from DC Comics of all people.
Yeah.
Next year. So, next great queer trans superhero.
Mark your calendars.
Yeah, Galaxy. I don't even think I said the name of the book. Galaxy, the Prettiest Star is the name of the book. It is coming out probably June. They talked about wanting it for Pride.
Mark your calendars. Probably next June or this?
Next June. It's not this June.
Probably next June.
Almost assuredly June. But, like, things happen. And
yeah. I'm not going to take too many questions from the comments, but I just wanted to assuage a fear. Somebody asked if you have any soothers available, like milk. So I
do have a milk.
A milk is here.
A milk is here. And I have water. And this is my home, so if I need something more extreme, I can go for the sour cream in the fridge. And
exactly.
I think the milk should do. We'll find out as we get closer to the 2 million
Especially
mark.
since that's looking like a whole milk situation, or at least like a
yes, of course it's a whole milk situation. Like,
I was raised on skim milk.
You were raised on water pretending to be milk.
You don't have to tell me that. I know where I'm from. Okay. First time I drank whole milk, I was like, "This is a milkshake." What? Shall we move on to the next spice?
We should. So this is Keith's chicken sauce, which I feel a little silly about every time I use it because the person who made this is Keith Hadsberger, who is a YouTube person, and it shouldn't be as good as it is.
I mean, listen, YouTube people can also have hot sauce.
Yeah, well, I take solace in, like, he just described what he wanted and someone who knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Put it together.
A commissioned hot sauce.
A commissioned hot sauce.
All right, let's.
So this is a really good hot sauce for people who want a hot sauce but can't handle a hot sauce. Like, my wife loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Got little ranch undertones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The expression they use on the website to define is herbaceous, which I want everyone to describe me as.
Yeah.
Because like, ooh, herbaceous.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that one. That's real good.
Yeah, nice.
Let me pull up the next question while you can mull over it as you chew.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is, if you were able to talk to and understand the speech of one kind of animal, what kind would it be?
I think raccoons would have interesting stories.
Raccoons. Especially in Philadelphia.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, they've seen some shit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've seen raccoons in this city, but they are enormous. Like, I was walking down the street at night once, and there was, like, a pack of them, and it looked like a street gang. Like, they had on leather vests, and I'm sure they were packing, like, some sort of shivs. Yeah, it was like the Warriors, but raccoons. I felt in danger. And I'm an alpha predator, and, like, here are these raccoons. So I feel like these giant animals, who also have little hands, probably have some
grabbers. It's true.
Really interesting stories to tell about their lives
in
an urban environment. I feel like, you try to talk to a squirrel, what are they going to tell you? How much they like tomatoes? Like, that's...
Who cares?
I know a squirrel likes tomatoes.
I could talk to my parents about how much they like tomatoes.
Right.
That conversation's done. My parents cannot tell the tale of a raccoon.
Right, exactly. So I think raccoons would have something to say. Second would be some sort of insect, like a... See, I want to say an insect because they would be so different from our mammalian viewpoints on life and everything, like an ant or something, but also maybe too alien. Like, I don't know if we could have a good conversation.
Yeah. I almost want the ability to talk to spiders, who I fear more than many things. But I'd like the opportunity to talk to a spider and be like, listen, you and I could get along here. We can come to some sort of agreement. I, as the person who could very obviously kill you, will not do you a murder. In exchange, you cannot approach me.
Nice.
The
To have
opportunity to establish boundaries with
a
the
dente,
spider.
if you will.
Yes. That would certainly help.
Did you ever read the comic where Spider-Man talks to a spider?
I did not read the comic book.
Doctor Strange helps with it, and it's incredible. I'll have to show it to you after this. But there's one part where Spider-Man is talking about what he does and like wraps up criminals in webs, and the spider just completely deadpans. Webs are for killing, Peter.
Yeah, I guess.
And he's like, yeah, I know, but I don't. Anyway.
Allie said spiders are our friend Siege, and I know this. Their legs freak me out very badly, and I have a traumatic experience dissecting a tarantula in 8th grade.
Makes sense. This all makes sense.
Yeah, you're unpacking my psyche. We're interviewing you, but we're also going to get to the bottom of my whole thing.
We are getting Allie's. They wanted. That's Allie, right? Yeah, that's Allie.
That last name strikes me.
They wanted you to be hot ones, and here we go. We're doing it anyway.
We're gonna get a little of the way. Allie, I cannot make promises here. About my progress.
All right, this I think is the last hot sauce you should try.
All right.
Unless you're feeling saucy,
we'll see.
and you should try the next one. But this is, I think, is still at your level. So this is, I should show. This is Nashville Riverfront sauce. This was a gift from my brother.
Christiana said, Spider, it is a mercy that I do not tell you of the things I have seen, but I do service for you every day.
Oh, Christiana remains the funniest person on this or any other internet. So, yeah. This past Christmas, I just asked for hot sauces from my family, and it was the best Christmas ever. I like that one because it's a little smoky.
Yeah. I was going to say, your scale is your scale, and we are not scientists. I almost would have switched this with Keith.
Give it a minute.
Fair enough. Well, while we're enjoying that minute...
This has a nice linger that I feel like Keith's doesn't.
In that minute, let's ask. If you were going to do one of the custom figs you make for your kid life-size, which one would it be?
Well, that's tough, right? Because I want to add, while I know these questions, I have not thought about them at all.
Great. That's the right balance to strike.
Right? Because I obviously, they sent them to me because they're my followers. But, yeah, so I don't know. Because, first off, that's a lot of work.
It is.
But let's say magically I could do it and have that time. I think... Oh, you know what it is? It is a character called the Leader of the Justice League, which she came up with.
Yes.
And it is a robot with very long legs and 3 arms. And it has a sword, a shield, and a gun. One for each arm. And I made her a little sculpture, it's not a action figure because there's no posability.
Right, yeah.
But I made one for her to paint, which she was delighted by. She gave me the direction. She made it out of Legos first. And by made it out of Legos, I made it out of Legos with her instructions.
Yeah. She was more like the manager.
So we got the basic visual, which is long legs, 3 arms, square head.
Right.
Anyway. So I would love to make a life-size one of those. I think that would be delightful. I think she would dig that forever.
I love that.
Yeah. So that would be the one. Leader of the Justice League, which is her name for
Leader of the Justice
this robot.
League. Just came out of
I thought it was does that mean that they lead the Justice League? And she said, no, that's just their name.
I love that.
So that would be the one.
That's incredibly good. All right, let's go to the next one. I might be slightly adventurous and try a small little
make a little pool and dip.
A little opt-in situation for myself.
This is I should show. This is one of my favorite sauces. This is the Pleasant Burn Company OG, and they are a little company in North Carolina, and my sister got me that and it's incredible. They've just I've loved them for years, but I only get them when my sister sends them to me because they didn't have an online store forever. Now they do. So,
right on time. Right on time.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
Cheers. Oh, I love the flavor of this.
Mm-hmm. Like it's what Texas Pete's wants to be when it grows up.
Yeah. And there's the hit.
Mm-hmm. We're getting into it now.
Yeah, we're in it. That might be my threshold there.
Yeah,
I think I landed at the exact right spot.
Yeah, you definitely don't want where we're going.
No. That is a road I cannot follow you.
That's nice though.
Right.
Oh, I could eat this whole plate of wings covered in that.
All right. This next question from a Jadzia fan. I always think of you as the person I know who is doing podcasting before it was cool. What drew you to it, and especially to a storytelling format when it felt like few people were using that medium for that yet?
Well, it's funny that the person says that. First off, because podcasting is never cool.
I also host a podcast, and yes, the answer is yes.
I could resist. I could not resist. Well, when I was getting in podcasting, there were not a lot, but I was part of a community of storytelling podcasts that was there. Scott Sigler was doing his audiobooks. Escape Pod had just started. So there was a culture of storytelling in audio. And that's what excited me. I was really drawn to what could be done with audio storytelling, what was being done, and that. So the first Voice of Free Planet X was really a lot of flash fiction that I gussied up with audio and sometimes other readers and sound effects, and that was a lot of fun. And then the most recent iteration, which is on hiatus, I know. This is, I think, one of the worst things about the pandemic, right? It was like all of my actor friends were doing nothing. And like if I had the scripts, I could have sent them all.
Yeah.
Scripts, and they would have given me such a quick turnaround on the audio, and it would have been brilliant. But I haven't had time to write the scripts because I've been writing things like Galaxy, the Prettiest Star, coming out next summer.
Ding.
I'm also in a DC anthology, Wonderful Women of the World, which is coming out, I think, this fall, which I did a story about Marsha P. Johnson, which is very exciting.
People can pre-order that, right?
They can.
People can pre-order that, right?
That's something people can pre-order. And I've done some other stuff with some other companies that isn't out yet that I can't talk about. Right. So I've been busy, both writing and taking care of a small child. So I haven't been able to write new scripts. But the current, the most recent iteration is like a fake NPR show, which was very exciting to me because it meant that I could write the easy way, which is like, I'll just have myself say exposition. And then we can do a fun interview dialogue thing, and then go back to exposition. I don't have to seamlessly make anything.
Right. Yeah.
I just do a music cue separation, and that's been a lot of fun. And you've been on that.
I have been on it.
You were in a live show, and you are supposed to show up in non-live shows if I ever write them.
Yeah. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yes, so I was always drawn to the medium of what can be done. I grew up in Appalachian, Tennessee. So the idea of oral storytelling is something that I grew up with and was familiar with and was celebrated. So that is just this. Also, I don't know if you've noticed from everything about me, but I am also a theater kid.
What?
Yeah, I know. Shocking as it may be. So to have that kind of acting outlet was also really nice. And to do things with my friends. I'm always trying to do things with my friends. Case in point. Yeah. So I wanted to do things with my friends. I wanted to tell stories in new ways. I had just gotten done with 365 Tomorrows, which was a website where myself and my wife and 3 other writers did like a piece of science fiction, flash fiction every day. And it was really nice to do that and be a part of that. But also I wanted to do something that was just me and not deal with other writers. And podcasting was nice in that I could just do it myself. All I needed was a microphone and my computer, and I could just do it. And that thing, because like film takes so much time, effort, and people. Theater takes so much time, effort, and people.
It's
Even
true.
doing a video for YouTube, or I have a TikTok and it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Like, I don't even do the cool things that TikTok superstar over here does. And it, like, takes me a whole afternoon to do 90 seconds, which is what it takes to do 90 seconds of video, whether you're doing it on your phone or not.
I was just filming it yesterday. I was filming a 3-minute act, and the filming process took several hours.
Right. And, like, audio editing takes some time, too, but it's still something that I can do. And it doesn't require the effort and time of video, because video is a whole nother thing.
Right.
So it's like the one step up from just writing something, where it's like, I can still do this all myself. And maybe that's a mistake to still do it all myself. Maybe I should get help to do it, and then we would have more.
But, like, it's slightly easier to do it. You're like, the theater, it's much more challenging to just start up by doing it yourself.
Right.
There's an entry point.
Yeah. So that started, I started that podcast, like, a long time ago. Like, like 2008, maybe even 2006. I'll have to look it up now, because now I don't know. Someone else look it up. It's
You figure it out.
planetx.libsyn.com is the website. It's still there.
Yeah.
Tell me how old it is. And and that's so, yeah, and other people were doing storytelling. I was excited. I wanted to do storytelling. I wanted to do stuff experimentally. That was probably a mistake. It was really good in the sense that I got to write some things that I've been meaning to write and put them out there. It was bad in the sense that I think the show didn't really have a identity, and so while it did get a large audience right in the beginning, because that's when it was easy to get a large audience because no one else was doing things. Like there was literally, I don't know if you remember, Podcast Pickle.
I don't remember.
No.
Pickle.
So this is a website, and it had all the podcasts on it. Can you imagine a website with all the podcasts on it?
There's like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and even those I would not trust to have all of the podcasts.
And this was just a list, and you could just look at the list and be like, I'm looking for this kind of show, and there it was on the list on Podcast Pickle. Now, obviously, it shut down because there were too many podcasts, but it's wild to think that at one point there was not only someone who was like, I'm going to make a website that just lists all the podcasts. But they did it, and it was effective, and you could find shows this way.
I co-hosted a podcast back in 2009, and it was a Twilight podcast. But we caught
you're a tryhard.
Was so important. We were right at the intersection between, it was 2009, so Twilight was super popular. Podcasts were not popular, so there weren't Twilight podcasts, so it was just like us and one other person. So at one point we were #1 on iTunes for book and literature, but that's only because that's how tiny the market was for books and literature podcasts and how many Twihards there were in 2009.
Excellent.
Someone said, CJ is very cool to meet you. Can you please give Jadzia a hug and a kiss on the cheek from me? I love her / miss her.
Oh, that's from Hannah. Hannah's an old college buddy.
That's fair. Would you like that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a hug.
I mean, definitely a hug.
How do you feel about the kiss on the cheek?
I am fine with it, but that's about your level of comfort.
I'll give you a kiss on the cheek.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go, Hannah. Christiana says it was before Apple Podcasts existed.
It's true. It's true.
Pickle. Goodness gracious.
It was in the dawn of it. Like, people were very excited. And
that was 2006?
I don't know. Someone else needs to look it up. I'm not going to
because
look
I was
it up.
in middle school.
Yeah.
That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yes, I'm old.
Sorry.
We've established that you are one of, though not my youngest friend. You are one of them.
That's true. That's true. I think I'm beat by like one
person.
One or something. I'm like second to last.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old. Like, I've lived a life of nerd on the internet. I've created a bunch of weird things on the internet.
I'm just a young tyke.
Yeah, you're just starting your weird things on the internet journey.
Someday a child will be hot onesing me, and I'll be like, "You remember TikTok?" And they're like, "What's that?" And I'll be like, "Great, I've died in obscurity."
It's true.
Yeah. All right, shall we go on to the next?
We shall go on.
Prize?
I don't mind being old because I honestly did not think I'd make it this long. So here we are.
Hey.
So this is by Banff hot sauce, which I love because that is a Nightcrawler reference. These are made by a bunch of nerds, and it's called Reap Your Maker.
Oh, drama! I'm just putting on some of that umami sauce that I'd pulled up on my plate.
So this is Carolina Reaper and bourbon.
Still good.
I'm gonna put a bunch on it so we can get, because now we're being serious, and we want to give people what they want, which is me and Payne.
All right. Oh, this is the Name That Gram.
Mm.
So I actually searched far and wide on your Instagram because most of your pictures on Instagram are either wonderful pictures of your outfit of the day or your selfie or that, or pictures of your food.
Right.
Which is also very stunning and gorgeous. So it's for anybody who is not familiar with the Hot One structure, typically when they're interviewing a celebrity, they'll pull up a out of place picture on their Instagram that might warrant a little bit of explanation. So I went ahead and did that search, and I will show you first and then the audience. So here's the picture.
Yes!
There we go. And the caption is, "I need to LARP with puppets again. The last time I dragged out Captain Chubbs was ages ago. I would love to attend the tale of Captain Chubbs."
Captain Chubbs is, a delight.
I'm gonna leave this picture up in the corner so people can sort of get the picture.
Yeah,
and the tale. So you just go ahead.
Right. So I've always loved puppetry, and I've always made puppets. And one of my friends, Brendan Taylor, has this amazing role-playing game called Bulldogs. If you guys are into role-playing and you haven't played Bulldogs, you should, because it's essentially like, what if Star Wars and Star Trek were in the same world? Okay. And you got to play Firefly, essentially.
Amazing. I'm going to put my phone down because I don't want to hold my arm up
the
anymore.
idea
Y'all got the picture.
You're a Class D freighter, and you have to navigate various things and beat space aliens and all that stuff. So, we were talking about this idly, the way everyone does. It's like, we should do a LARP of Bulldogs. And one of the aliens are Cinemites, which are basically like 3-foot tall angry teddy bears. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I could do an Ursemonite puppet. And he's like, you should do an Ursemonite puppet. Great. And I was like, yes, I should do an Ursemonite. And then I did. It's the largest, it's not the, I was about to say it's the largest puppet I ever made, but the largest puppet I ever made was this giant Stalin puppet that had a giant Stalin head and huge grasping hands that I made for theater production in my 20s. But this is, and then I made a giant bat for the Dracula parade that the Rittenhouse Museum, not Rittenhouse, well, Rittenhouse Museum and Pastoral Q does. So I guess Chubb's number 3. Chubb's number 3, third largest puppet.
Third time's a germ.
He's big though, and he goes on a harness. And I operate him, and I usually had him stand on a table when I operated him so that he could look people in the eye. And he has a little captain's jacket. And my friend Danny Oakley, who's just a genius, did me up some LEDs. So Chubbs had a ray gun that had this like light up display.
Goodness gracious.
And all this stuff because I wanted to distract people from the fact that hand didn't move. So
right.
Because I could only operate the mouth in one hand. So like we had another hand that had a ray gun on it and had all this display stuff and bouncing lights. And then
That's really cool.
he also did me a little LED on a push button that would slowly light up and then fade, and I got to put that in Chubb's fake cigar so he could actually smoke it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a beautiful puppet. It worked really well. I was dressed all in black when we did the LARP, and I had sunglasses on so people couldn't see my eyes. And everyone, that was all it took for people to react to the puppet, not to me, which was amazing and really wonderful. And so he was the captain of a crew in a LARP where we were all aliens. And then Brennan was also there, and he had alien makeup on. He shaved his head for it and everything, and he was another captain. Yeah, and so it was a lot of fun, and I love Chubbs, and I would love to do more with Chubbs. And we had a lot of fun just like carrying him around, having him hang out at the bar because this was at a con.
Right. Yeah.
And like, yeah, I would love to do more with Chubbs. We did do one more thing with him where we did like when they were redoing a new edition of Bulldogs. We did a little Kickstarter video with Chubbs as like a recruiting video, which you can find. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I'm not the best puppeteer, but I'm a really good puppet creator, and that puppet was spot on. And I'd love to play with him again in another LARP scenario. I don't think all of his lights work anymore, though, which is too bad.
Oh. Well, if they're LEDs, you can replace
we can
LEDs.
probably fix whatever's, like, connection came loose or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really nice. Like, we did a lot of stuff to make sure that the weight was on the harness and not in my arm.
Oh, yeah, smart.
So, like, all the battery packs for the LEDs were on the harness.
Good.
And it was just a lot of stuff that went into like making him, and then he came out so great, and we had him in the front seat on the car when we drove, just strapped in, because he's huge. Like he's 3 foot and change, and he's just like this big teddy bear that has an angry face and a mohawk and a bad attitude, and I love him. We even made each group had a special patch that was part of the merch they were doing at the time, is that you could get a special patch for your team, for your crew.
Uh-huh.
And I asked for one that was that the name of his ship was going to be Saunders, which is a Winnie the Pooh reference, because that's the name of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. And so it's like a bear. The patch is a bear with like a honey pot.
That's so cute.
Yeah, the whole puppet is great, and I wish there was more chances to use it. But like, when do you need a bad alien bear?
Besides all the time, it's tough to say.
I mean, he still lives on in the sense that the voice I use when I read Frog and Toad to my daughters is his voice.
Sure, yeah.
So when Toad talks, it's still it's Captain Chubbs. This is Captain Chubbs, and you're all disappointment.
Fair. Hedva, which by the way, apologies for name pronoun mix-ups earlier. Says, cool story. One of the first interactions with CJ was them telling me that one of their teachers was a person I went to college with. I remember the teacher, my freshman high school music. I think I took a piano lab with him, and no, music tech was with somebody. But I remember which teacher this was for sure. Let's go on to the next
one. So this is Clark and Hopkins. This is Assam.
I'm doing this one.
We are edging into intense heat. Like this packs a punch. And I'm just gonna dump what's left of the bottle on this. Okay. Obviously, I've used it.
I have no pour control whatsoever.
That one.
It's runny.
It's runny.
Still.
It's runny.
I just don't want to take all your hot sauce.
All right.
Here we go.
So verisimilitude, I will wait until after you eat yours so that you can ask me the question right when it's in my mouth.
Copy. Still good.
Yeah.
Still good.
Yeah, that's the garlic and pepper seed. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
Oh, and this one's going to be a doozy to kick it into the hots. You need us to do a 7-course meal to sum up your whole deal in food. What does it look like?
Oh man, this question. I was dreading this one.
Getting it at the exact right time too. right in the tender moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get why when people do this and they're trying, like they have that moment where it's like, why aren't you answering the question? It's like, because you can't think. And this isn't even the hottest one we've got.
We got 3 more, folks.
I know. Like, it's super hot. Like, this is rated as like a 7, and like everything else from here on out is a 10. So, at least. 7-course meals. All right, so we start with amuse-bouche, obviously.
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? I'd like to do. This is so hard. I should drink some water, but I'm not going to because that's.
Or like milk or something.
No, it's just this is the experience that I was going for.
Oh, sure, it's what the people paid for.
It's what they wanted. So start with the amuse-bouche. Small little buttermilk biscuits.
Ooh.
With a little chicharron of fried chicken skin on there. So not a full fried chicken piece, but a little fried chicken skin on the biscuit. That's amuse-bouche. What's next in a 7-course meal?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll just name. I think like a soup and a salad or something.
And now we've arrived.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
There we are.
We made it.
So and then we would need a soup. I've always said the best chicken soup is ramen.
Yep. You are known for saying that.
So we'll have a nice chicken ramen right there. Don't want to go too heavily on the chicken, but like this is where we're starting.
Yeah.
I would want to do. I did a deconstructed Caesar salad one.
Oh.
Because like
How do you deconstruct a salad further?
Well, once upon a time, I used to hold these avant-garde dinner parties where I would just do weird food.
I love that.
Because I wanted to do weird food.
Yeah.
This is what you do when you don't have a child.
Yep.
But one of the things I did was I dipped romaine lettuce in a Parmesan tempeh batter, and then deep fried it really quickly.
Okay. Oh my god.
So you had a fried lettuce thing. So it was crunchy but lettucey, and then more Parmesan, some pepper, and a little a sauce like a Caesar sauce on that. And so I would do that because that was always one of my favorite things I've ever done. It was not everything on the avant-garde dinner party came out.
Sure. I mean, that's the risk of art.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But that one did. It was like and deep fried lettuce is so weird. And I was so happy to have achieved it. So that'd be salad. And then, so that's 3. And then like for a main course, my whole deal. Because we've already done the Southern biscuit introduction.
Right, yeah.
We've done ramen, which is one of my favorite foods.
Mm-hmm.
We did Caesar salad, also something wonderful. Probably tacos.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of taco? I love Korean food. So yeah, so here's what we would do. We would do these would go together. We would have some tacos, and these would be with kimchi, but mainly Mexican spices. And then after that, we would have some budae-jjigae, which is a Korean stew with like spam and all sorts of things, and that would have more Mexican spices to it. Because I do feel those two have a similar palate, and it's fun to play with Mexican food with Korean spices and Korean food with Mexican spices. That is, of course, like I'm not going to be a white person saying I know more about Korean food or Mexican food than people who actually do it. I just like playing around with those things, and that's what this question was about. Sure. I actually know very little about Korean food other than the recipes I've tried. I just know I've loved all of it that I've eaten. And then, where are we? That's 5. So then we need a palate cleanser, right? So, probably. I haven't done any pickled things, so I would always wanted to do like a pickled salad where everything in there is pickled in different ways, so it's not just like one briny mess with different textures but different flavors for each pickle. So you'd have some like traditional dill cucumbers, but maybe some more gingery cauliflower. And
man, that'd be amazing.
Some onions with other flavors, and so like each one would like accent the flavor of the original vegetable, but also be a pickled thing. So that would be I think a great palate cleanser. And then for dessert, I found out recently that I can't have sugar if I want to sleep at night. Like I can't have sugar anyway because my body can't handle it. I knew that for years, but I would do it anyway because like who doesn't love chocolate?
Yeah.
So, but then recently I was like, maybe I should stop eating chocolate. And then when I did, I slept the night through, and I was like, oh no. But I love chocolate, and so it'd probably be some sort of chocolate mousse cream with like a bowl you could eat because I still like hard chocolate, and then some cherries in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Was that 7? It was mouche rouge, soup salad.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, a mouche rouge, you had a soup, a salad, and tacos, and then the budae jjigae, and then the palate cleanser and dessert. Yeah.
Yep. All right, nailed it.
Yay.
Look at us. All right, on to the next for you.
Oh, all right. So, yeah.
I'm gonna get some more Keiths up in here.
Yeah, get some more Keiths. So this is Mr. Hot Stuff's ghost pepper sauce. Now, Mr. Hot Stuff is another local North Carolina person my sister sent me, and it's so good. What's fun about this sauce, this is a new bottle because I ate all the ones she sent me for Christmas already.
Incredible.
It's great because it's a vegetable base, not a vinegar base, a vegetable broth base. So it's got, I'm going to put a lot of it on there, again, for verisimilitude, because this is what people pay to see. So it's got a great heat to it, but not that vinegar sharpness. So, you got the question ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
When are you going to do more Frankenstein support group?
It was a mistake to put that question on here. Oh, man. Okay. Soon?
Next.
Wow. I've never put that much Mr. Hot Stuff on anything.
Yeah, she was really going for it back there. Like, I don't know how much y'all saw, but like...
Whoa. Yeah, so... Soon, I've written a comic of Frankenstein where they talk about what they've been doing over the past pandemic. And how their lives have changed, or not changed. Baba Yaga is, of course, thrilled that she doesn't have to interact with anyone.
Natch.
So soon I just have to draw it, but it's all written. The editor there approved the script, so I just need to draw it. So soon there will be more Frankensteins. I just need to draw faster is, I think, the real issue there.
Give yourself speed runs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, you answered the question. Where are you at vis-a-vis moving on to the next?
Give me a minute.
Will do.
All right.
I'm gonna change my hairstyle.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Well, my
the heat's
hair's
getting to you too.
Yeah, you know. But it's more like I like the aesthetics of my long hair, but I never like hair being in my face. So sometimes I have to switch into a Violet from Series of Unfortunate Events mode. Tie my hair back because I've got a good idea.
Christiana says that she spent some time working in South Korea and the food was her favorite thing. And I'm like, yeah.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. They know how to do the damn thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna head back to Nashville.
This is the first one that that I'm looking at and like this whole thing was a mistake.
I mean, you got to that point at like number 9, so
Yeah.
honestly, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Unlike people who do this on Hot Ones, though, I do know what's coming. So this is Dawson's Triple X Ghost Pepper Mash. This is, I think, the best of the super hot sauces. This has a ton of heat, obviously, but it's also got a lot of flavor. It's also like a paste, so you can easily not put too much.
Bless.
I'm going to put too much anyway, because that's the name of the game.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Here we go. Alright. So this probably doesn't look like too much, but trust me, this is a lot. I'll put a little more just for fun. Here we go. Alright.
How many model ray guns are in your home at the time this question is asked that you can think of off of the top of your head?
Okay.
Your face is as if you just ran through the entire home and counted the ray guns and came back.
Alright, so there's one soft one in Ada's Playthings that's crochet that my mother got.
Crochet ray gun.
Yeah, I'll find it for you after
That's
this.
amazing.
It's
I
great.
love that.
So that's the only one that we keep upstairs now. The rest of them are in the basement because all the guns and swords are in the basement. Alright. There's 2 that I welded in college as part of an art project, and they're still down there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modded Nerf guns, which I'm counting. There is 1 ray gun in progress that has a handle now, so it still counts. It's no longer just a mixer.
Okay.
It's this really cool like 1950s mixer that doesn't work, and I was like, I need it to make a ray gun out of it. And then,
Of course.
oh no, there's Captain Chud's ray gun. We just talked about that.
Right, yes.
There's the ray gun that I got thinking maybe Captain Chud's would be better with this one. It's huge, and it was too big even for a
We are
giant
now
puppet.
past 10 ray guns for those counting at home.
Yeah. There's my old Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord costume ray gun. There's my Pulp Hero ray gun. There's my other Pulp Hero ray gun that was made from the same casting.
Sure.
So I think that's all of them. That's 14.
14. That is more ray guns than I own.
You don't say.
I would be remiss to find somebody who owned more.
I love the ray gun aesthetic because guns are not beautiful things.
Right.
They are very utilitarian in their design. And ray guns, however, take this very utilitarian object and they add a lot of art and pizzazz and fun to them. And that is very appealing to me as a artist and a sculptor, which I am occasionally. And I used when I was doing sculpture a lot, especially in college. I had a professor who was like, "Why do you keep going back to this well?" and I tried to explain it to them, and he didn't get it. And it wasn't until a former student came back and visited and saw some of my stuff up and explained to the professor why it was good that he was like, "Oh no, I get it now. I get what you're doing." But yeah, it was very much a ray gun again. Come on. But it's an interesting. It's a way to take something that is violent and deadly and utilitarian and turn it into something that is playful and not violent and not deadly. Because a ray gun is a toy. It's not a real done.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have so many.
Amazing. All right, so
now we're down to the last one.
yeah, which you just wrote final challenge.
Right, you were supposed to come up with a final question challenge.
I have a question.
All right, great. And so I wanted this one to be absolutely pure. That I didn't know what was coming. I'm starting to cry from that last one. I'm gonna go for the milk as just a palate cleanser. All right, here we go. So, out of respect for the form of Hot Ones,
Right.
the grand theatrical medium, out of respect to that, I did get the last dab, which is the Apollo sauce. This is made with Apollo peppers. This has 2 million Scoville units. This is the Apollo pepper is the record-holding hottest pepper currently being cultivated. I did sample this, and the last time I did, I started hiccuping out of control. So we'll see if that happens this time.
Great.
Unlike Dawson's ghost pepper mash, this one does not have much flavor. It's just all heat.
All heat.
And I put a bunch of it on because I want to give the people what they want, which is me in pain.
You nasty, nasty weirdos.
I hope you enjoy this.
All right. And I hope you enjoy my question, which goes a little something like this. One of my favorite types of tweets that you make are the ones that start off with, "I am not a parody of myself, I say," and then you list a typical Jadzia activity, such as I sip from a glass of cider vinegar spiked with hot sauce, or as I drain some store-bought pickled cherry peppers in order to put them into a new jar with even saltier brine. If somebody was to parody Jadzia Axelrod, what are 3 tips that you would give them?
Oh, it hurts. The problem is there's nothing else. It's just heat. It's just this. One time I bit a fatali pepper, which is one of the hottest. It's not an Apollo. And it made my brain shut off, but at least there was flavor to it. Like, this is nothing.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
My partner asked, CJ isn't writing the last dab too. You would have to come pick me up. Have we met? We've almost been dating for a decade. Are you sure, babe? Are we sure here? No, I am not doing the last dab.
I'm afraid to let CJ even touch the bottle.
Yeah, no.
They might explode. Alright, so 3 tips for parodying me. Tip number 1, involve pickles.
Pickles, yep.
Definitely important. This has now become, in addition to being something I enjoy, it's hard to talk.
Really? Why?
In addition to being something I enjoy, this has become a bit of a brand thing, and people have brought me pickles when I've been tabling at conventions and things, which I love, and please keep doing.
That's a good type of brand to cultivate.
Right? Yeah. Once upon a time, I don't know how this started, people started giving me whiskey, which was great, but at the same time, you can only drink whiskey so fast.
Right.
So I have a cabinet full of unopened whiskeys because we still haven't gotten to it. And I drink less hard liquor now than I did before I had a child. Which is a contrast to a lot of other parents.
Right. Different strokes for different folks.
Right. So I really appreciated those gifts and they were beautiful, but also I was like, I'm probably never going to get around to drinking this. But the pickles, I eat immediately because I love pickles and they're delicious. So start with pickles. Number one, start with pickles. Number 2, if you can add hot sauce to your pickling, do it. Chili flakes, chili peppers. Ow. Anything hot because I'm stupid into heat. Ow. This may have been a mistake, but it's a fun mistake. It's a learning experience.
Yeah. A mistake is just a learning experience that you haven't learned from quite yet and you're currently experiencing.
Right. And number 3 would be to have a certain theatrical gravitas. I feel like there's a level of performance to me. Like there's a level of performance to everyone, right? Like we're born naked, everything else is drag. Like obviously, but like on top of that, there is a certain impresario energy that this is why I like you so much, because I feel you share that. And it's like one of the reasons why I'm so glad you're doing this is because like who will I not overshadow when sharing the screen with? Who will not be recessed? It's either you or my wife, and someone has to watch the baby while I'm hurting myself with little bottles of liquid.
You want to make sure you're setting a good example for your child.
Right. Yeah, she's not here. She's not in the house at this point because she doesn't need to see this. Okay, honestly though, as painful as it is to say things while having eaten this stuff, not as bad as I was afraid of.
All right.
No hiccups.
Yeah.
Last time I had this with hiccups, and I feel like I set you guys up for hiccuping. And
maybe they'll come later. Which Hedva and Tim were both saying I am not going to last dab, but out of compromise between y'all and my boundaries, I am going to take a little sniff.
Oh yes, take a
little sniffy sniff and see how that turns out. Okay. Jesus the Christ.
Yeah, that'll burn your nose hairs. That's
Yeah, it's like simultaneously sweet, and now I'm not gonna sniff anything for the next minute. Like truly.
Yeah. It's interesting. One thing I do like about this is if you're adding this to a cream-based dip, it will not dilute the heat on iota, unlike everything else in the world.
Sure. Yeah.
And I did this because I was making like a sour cream dip, and I was like, I'll dump some last dab in there. That'll be a nice use for this. And I put in way more than I should have because I thought it was going to be diluted, but the cream was not.
It was not.
Whew.
You did it. You
did it.
You
I did all 10 of them. I hot one myself. For you. Juicy crust.
Oh, that's a Mabim Bam reference. Here we call him Jeezy Crazy.
No, I get it. Whew. That was fun. Thank you for doing this with me, CJ.
Of course.
Thank
you for letting me be the person to be in person experiencing this in the moment.
Yeah, I still have some wings here, which I guess I'm just gonna eat with whatever sauce I want. So
sure, yeah. You're now beholden to no one.
Right, no, I've conquered.
The contract is sealed.
Oh.
The chains are broken. You can eat whatever you want.
Those last four really. The Assam hit me and I wasn't expecting it.
Now, here's a question. After having gone through all of these, and bearing in mind you have another one left, what's the first one you're reaching for? What's your fave of the bunch?
Well, it depends on what. Like, but for these leftover wings, I'm probably gonna do some OG.
That's a good compromise.
Because that's a nice. That's just a really good sauce.
Yeah.
So that, but the Mr. Hot stuff was really good too. Not these boys.
Not those. Yeah.
Not these.
You should make like a little cardboard jail for them where they could sit and think about their sins.
I mean, they're good for like this is really good in a breakfast sandwich if you use just a little tiny bit of it and mix it with the mayonnaise. Like that's really good. I don't think there's actually use for this. There is no utility beyond challenge, beyond like pushing. It's like a marathon run. Like you don't need to do it, but you want to see if you can.
Yeah. Maybe he'll come up with the name for it, but Tim has this sauce that his brother gave him where he will, like, it is so strong, probably not as strong as that one, but it is so strong that he just puts one dot of it into the broth for ramen, and that'll just seal the, and I can feel it in the apartment. Like, I can feel it in the air. Like, my eyes will water, and I'll be like, oh, Tim cooked ramen and used that.
It might be as hot as this. It might be hotter. Who knows?
It's just a challenge sauce.
It's a challenge. Yeah. I know some people were disappointed I'm not going to do the bomb. That's your loss.
Is it one of those things where, like, sometimes you have to take a good hard look in the mirror and respect yourself, or it did not arrive?
No, I didn't order it. And the reason I didn't is because I wanted to enjoy these sauces afterwards. I'm not going to enjoy that. Like that's just a torture sauce. But I feel like this is an adequate replacement. Mr. Hot Stuff's Ghost Pepper is amazing. I'm like, yeah, I wanted good sauces. I didn't want shitty ones.
You still suffered. Isn't that enough for you people?
I did.
She
did
suffered
suffer for the art.
Look at her.
But yeah, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was worried because I had sampled these before. They're like, oh no. Like the first time I had this, it was like, oh no, what have I done? And it was hard to talk. But you know.
Yeah. There were some pauses. There were some
giggles.
There were some tears. Tears happened.
There were some tears. There was some redness. But yeah.
We laughed. We cried.
And here we are. Thank you so much for doing this, CJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who was there in the live stream. Again, I did not expect anyone to be here, so it was amazing to have you. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you all again.
Don't forget
don't do this.
Don't forget to not do this.
Yeah, don't do this unless you're really into hurting yourself, which some people are, and no judgment.
Yeah.
But
don't do this unless you're nasty.
It was fun though to like slowly increase the heat and experience these different sauces, all in one go. Because normally I just pick one and do it. So it's nice to have a variety.
A little incremental.
Yeah.
A little flight.
A flight. A big flight.
A big flight.
That's 10 sauces. What was your favorite of the ones you had?
Oh gosh. I mean, Keith's was just very good. I feel like Keith's was my pick. I'm definitely going to go by that one.
Yeah, sure. I would recommend it.
Which sounds like I was sponsored by them. I'm not. It's just a good sauce.
It's a good sauce.
The Pleasant Burn was also really nice.
The Pleasant Burn. Yeah, like this and the Mr. Hot Stuff, which are both small batch.
I was trying to, but I forgot we're angled way up because I'm the smallest person.
And that's part of why we like you.
It's true. Hooray!
There we go. We did it.